Making a study plan. So what do I mean by making a study plan? The exam, you're taking it at your pace, you're studying at your pace, so don't try to set like a goal, a superficial goal that you cannot attain. Cut off all distractions. This was a big one for me.
Can't ball in a life, man.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new here, I'm Stella, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back again. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 5 tips that helped me when taking the Nclex. There are tons of videos out there on tips and all of that, so these 5 tips are what helped me in particular. They may help you, they might not help you, so you can try or not. And I'm just trying to make this video as short and brief as possible and not waste anybody's time. So if this is something you're interested in, then keep watching. So I have my notes here and I'll be looking at them in case you see me looking elsewhere. So tip number 1, making a study plan. So what do I mean by making a study plan? So before taking the exam, let's assume that today is the 1st of December, you plan to take the exam on the 25th of December. Make a plan like every day, set a goal, a realistic goal, because the exam, you're taking it at your pace, you're studying at your pace, so don't try to set like a goal, a superficial goal that you cannot attain. For example, you say every day I'm going to take 200 questions. If you can take 200 questions, that's fine, but if you cannot, if you can do 70 questions every day, set the goal for 70 questions every day and try to like smash that goal every day. And also set like a time. If you're a morning person, if you try to like study in the morning, or if you're evening person. Personally, I like studying in the morning, so I'll come back from work or come back from school and sleep and then wake up like in the early hours of the morning, 2 a.m 3 a.m, or maybe 8 a.m 9 a.m, and then study. That's when I'm most efficient, when I wake up like early to study. So make a plan for that. Have like a planner or like a calendar to write it out, because I think if you see it often and then it reminds you. I think I have a picture of mine. I'm going to insert it so you can see how mine looked like. Mine was like a 14-day plan, so that helped me to see. And just marking off every day was like motivation that, okay, this is what I did today, this is what I achieved today, and this is what I'm looking forward to the next day. Rule number 2, cut off all distractions. This was a big one for me. So obviously when studying, sometimes I'm like, take a break, need a break from studying, I'll go on TikTok. Mistake. Whenever I go on TikTok to like spend maybe 15 minutes, I end up spending like 2 hours 3 hours on TikTok. That thing is so addictive. Like, no one ever tells you. TikTok, Instagram, all of that, I had to like uninstall them, because at the end of the day, it wasn't helping me, it wasn't making me to be productive in anything. It was just fun, but nothing. Obviously I was going there for fun, not to like learn, even though sometimes you learn stuff on TikTok. But aside the point, I had to uninstall all those apps, the social media apps, like, just to focus on that exam, because it was like, okay, this exam, I have to study for this exam. I'm going to put in my all. If you want to get what you've never had, you need to do what you've never done. So that's what I was trying to do. And I was like, okay, I'm going to cancel all of those things after the exam. TikTok is going to be there, Instagram is going to be there, Snapchat is going to be there. All of those apps are going to be there at the end after taking the exam. So I had to cut off them. Not only that, I had to like, other distractions that I had. Sometimes YouTube was a distraction, like watching YouTube videos, like setting. So I set like a screen time. Obviously I was using YouTube for educational purposes to watch like videos if I don't understand what is happening, like the endocrine system, the ABGs and all of that. I'll use YouTube. But other times I watch, like, I took my exam around like December period, so a lot of people had like vlogmas and all of that, so I used to watch them. I set a screen time for that. And also like the time I was spent talking to my friends and all of that, I had to like limit all of that, because the exam was the ultimate goal. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is mindset. So try to set your mindset in a way. The mind is so powerful, but try what I did was try to like give myself some grace, try to be positive, try to, every time I went to study, I put in my head that I'm going to make it. Everything is going to be okay. Everything happens for a reason. I'll try to like, be positive and to be open to like learning. And also prior to that, when I was taking like the practice questions, whenever I failed the question, I would be like, no, this, I'll be so mad that I didn't like get the practice questions correct, and I'll feel so bad. But you know what, I'd rather you fail the practice questions while you're practicing them and learn from there than failing on the exam. It's like the other time when I was trying to like study for the exam, I tried to avoid doing that. If I fail the question, that's okay. I'm going to read the rationale, understand the question, so the next time I don't repeat that mistake. Just don't pressure yourself too much. The human body needs rest. When you study, give yourself some time. You rest. You cannot pour from an empty jar. You need to rejuvenate. You need to like surround yourself with positive people and all of that, because it's going to help with the exam as well. Tip number 4: write out the questions. So this tip was given to me by my cousin. She said to write out every question I have. I study to write them out. Get a new, like a brand new book or any book. Every question you see, write it out. Write the answers and all of that. When you write the answers, write the rationale. So do that for every question. It can be very exhausting, like writing down. I did over 2,000 questions, writing down all of those questions and all of that. It could be very exhausting, but you know what? When writing the questions all the time, sometimes some questions repeat itself in those study websites. Some of the questions repeat itself, and then you realize that, oh, this question I had written it before, because I don't know, there's a research that shows that when you write stuff, you retain it more, something that has to do with that. So whenever I wrote those questions down, I came back to it and I saw those questions, I instantly just remember that, oh, I saw this question. Last but not least, tip number 5 that helped me was the resources. So if you watch my previous video, I mentioned that I used HESI Review, UWorld, Simple Nursing, ATI, and Saunders. I don't want to say they didn't help me. They did. In all honesty, like they did in one way or the other. They did in terms of like the rationale. I could use it to apply to other questions. Let me give you an example. Talking about infection control, I'm gonna say, okay, you have TB, you have MRSA, C. diff, and meningitis. Which of those are airborne precautions? Which of them do you have to take airborne precautions? So TB, from those rationales, you know that, okay, this is what you need for airborne precautions, this is what you need for contact precautions, and this is what you need for droplet precautions. So the rationales from every other side that I use help me, but not particularly like the questions. But what helped me like 60 to 70% was Klimek. A lot of people probably have heard of Klimek. Please don't sleep on Klimek. He has like, I think, there's a podcast on Klimek. You can be listening while you're at the gym, on your way to work, or you're just like doing some work at home. And there's some of Klimek lectures on YouTube on like different channels. I'm gonna leave the link to the one that I found the 1 to 12 lectures on in the description box, and I have some notes from Klimek. I don't think I'm authorized to like link the notes in my description box. So if you want the notes, send me an email. My email is in the description box, and I'm going to forward the notes to you. And I also came up with like mnemonics that could help me. I had like a very huge struggle with like the infection control, so I had to write down something. Some of them I saw online from Nurseria and other places that I would just put them together to help me to understand. I also had a problem with Erik Erikson, developmental stages. Had a problem with understanding the ABGs. Simple Nursing helped me with that one. The Erik Erikson developmental stages, I think Nurseria helped me with that one. And what else was I struggling with? The endocrine system. Oh my goodness, for the longest time I just couldn't differentiate like Addison's disease and myxedema, or like Graves' disease and Cushing's syndrome. I just couldn't figure it out. But then watching videos and those rationale, simple nursing and U-word and all of that helped me to identify. So these are the 5 tips that helped me to prepare for the exam. If you use any of these tips and they help you, let me know in the comment section below. And good luck to everyone preparing to take the exam. You got this. If I can do it, you can do it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, share and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Are you kidding me? Do us. Yeah.